What's going on, everybody? It's Dot Bets checking back in. We have our on the dot U.S. Open breakdown. We have my man Teaser Nation with us, and we also have a special guest at Stephanie Smalls. How we do tonight?
Good, excited to be here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, excited to have you. Really pumped for you to join the show. If you do not know, Stephanie Smalls is new to golf Twitter. She's still writing. So we will hear from her on her outrights, placements, and some matchups. And my guy Teaser will hold it down as always. One of the best golf handicappers you will find on Twitter. So you find him at Teaser Nation as well. So we want to dive in. We want to say what we're liking this week on the course, some attributes we're going for. Teaser, you want to dive in real quick?
Yeah, I'll just keep it kind of brief, the preview, because I think it's just going to kind of be, a shit show this week. It's tough to cap, but we'll see. Basically, it's a 7,200 yard par 70, so it's relatively small. Kind of the setup, as I was reading and watching on TV, emphasis on accuracy off the tee, so you don't want to be in the rough. We've all seen videos. It's about like eight feet tall, so. There's a couple blind tee shots I was actually watching tonight. I think 4 or 5 blind tee shots, tiny greens and a lot of natural hazards. And then 2 big key stats I'm looking at. There's 8 par 4s over 450 yards, and they're the bogey avoidance. I'm also looking at as well. And then a couple comp courses I kind of look at each week is TPC Potomac, the Wells Fargo, where it was held this year, Torrey Pines, last year's U.S. Open venue, and then Muirfield Village, which was played last week. So just a bunch of grinded out type courses that I'm kind of narrowing it down to. So yeah, that's a little brief setup of the course. I don't know if you guys want to get in your outrights first, and then I'll go through mine.
I'll just say, Stephanie, do you have any particular attributes you're looking at this week? Any particular angles that you're looking at when you're choosing outrights and placements?
Yeah, these I kind of went with, the value isn't really in these top guys who we would expect to do very well here. So, I looked at that FanDuel insurance and I went right for that. I'm like, who do I think has a shot to actually win this? And who do I think could finish top 10? And I think Max Homa, which I'm sure, I think we were talking about this before. There's more than one of us that is on Max Homa. It was Max Homa and Berger that came right to me. I thought the value was still there. 45 to 1. I'm not sure if that number is still sitting there for Homa. You can still get him top 10 too, like at plus 400, but he continues to have like very solid results, super well-rounded game. And I think he's capable of winning this. It's just, like we talked about, whether or not he decides to just kind of blow it up the way we see guys like him and Varner do once we hit the weekend. And I'm always going to sprinkle on him when he is still in this mid-tier range at majors. Continues to improve every single time he's made a major appearance. He finished 13th last month at the PGA, has yet to lose strokes on the year. I think he's proven that he can, play well at a more difficult course where the field is still strong, because this is like a very strong field. Absolutely not knocking that, but he just feels a little mispriced. I think he could definitely pull it off here. His accuracy, like you said, that's the big thing I'm looking for, accuracy. And his putter has been appealing to me. I think it depends a lot, though, on that around the green game. He's won twice this season, only 2 missed cuts. Again, T13 PGA. I'm kind of in on Max Homa. I like it. And it might be because I want to have a beer with the guy.
Exactly.
Maybe that's why. But I'm going to keep betting. At majors, I'm going to keep betting him while he's at this mid-tier number here.
I'm with you on the outright with Max Homa. I've been on him for a couple weeks now. You can just kind of see his game take it up a level. And it's a 45 to 1 shot. It's definitely my highest outright up there, but I definitely would not be surprised to see him to host the trophy for sure. It is an interesting course. I know there's been a lot of talk on Twitter about the hills, the water, how fast it will play. It is going to be your old school U.S. Open feel, kind of like a links course. They're kind of they're comping it to a little bit. So you're really good. I'm going to emphasize, a lot of people that are very good around the greens and not so much distance with their driver, a little bit more accuracy. And that rings a bell with me. I got to go with my guy Xander. I know if you go to any site, you're probably going to hear his name. So you tune in, you're going to hear it again. So I'm just a big Xander guy. I'm always on him when it's, especially in the US Open. He always is a top 10 guy. If you want to take his top 10, go right ahead. I can't blame you there. I'm going to go ahead and just take his outright. I got 25-1 here. So that's my first outright that I'll give out. Caesar, you got one?
Yeah, so I'm starting my card with John Rahm at 16-1. I got it on my local. I don't think we've seen that high of a number on Rahm since COVID started. He's always been, I think we've seen 12-1 maybe. I think obviously it's funny to me that I guess for Rahm, he's having a bad year. I'll put that in quotations because that's all you're seeing. Like, what is John Rahm broken? But I mean, he's been relatively great this year. He's 8th in my model. Obviously, he's one of the best drivers of the ball. Maybe I'll put him behind Rory as one of the best on the tour at driving. Let's see. First in good drives his last 36 rounds, as you can see in the model there. Bogey avoidance, he is, I believe, 11th. But do you have it on last 36? It's the same anyways, but
he's 7th.
Okay, yeah, so last 50, he's 7th, so that's even better. Proximity, he's been great at recent form. Last week, he gained 8 strokes total at the Memorial. He kind of backdoored a T20, I believe. He gained 3 strokes off the tee, and I think he's kind of going towards trending back in the right direction for me. I think this is where he can put it all together. This is where you kind of see where the big guys show up. He can also play out of the rough if he needs to. He's a big, strong guy, so I mean, we saw that with Bryson in 2020. He just hacked his way through wing foot. So, I like him this week. I'm going to start my card with him at 16-1.
And to butt in right there with John Rahm, that is also my other outright. So I got Rahm, Homa, and Xander. Rahm intrigues me. I think everyone, that video clip circulated on Twitter of him saying why he wants to play for the PGA Tour, and that's kind of this different angle this week. You can kind of sense these tour guys are a little bit kind of pissed off about this live golf that's kind of arose, and they've kind of said no to. They want to stick to the true roots of PGA Tour golf, and you see kind of this good versus evil little aspect of it. You kind of have that playing out. So I think this weekend you'll see one of the most competitive golf tournaments all year long that you'll see. Because I'm of the belief that the live guys, if you kind of spin it that route, they want to show that, hey, I'm not just some sellout and I can't play golf anymore. I would love to show you that my competitiveness is still there, and we can win major tournaments. So I think you're going to see a big clash here, and a very, very exciting week of golf. So I don't know if anyone wants to talk about that live or anything like that. Steph, you got a say?
No, we won't waste our time on that. We've heard.
I will agree with, I am usually the biggest, no thank you, Rahm, I'm done this year. And that probably comes a lot from not following it as closely as, I follow some other sports. But I think that Rahm, every knock that people have for him, he's kind of been pulling that together as of late, and you've seen him improve week to week, and that's between the competitiveness, if he can just not throw a tantrum, I think there's a very strong argument. My concern with him is only that this course is going to prove probably extremely frustrating. I love him first round leader. That's one of my favorite bets this week. I think that he can come out extremely strong. I think that everything, you look at everything he's done literally across the board. His ball striking always is one of his better parts of his game. He's also just quietly improved this short game, and that's what everyone's knock has been. Why everyone's been like, "Oh, Rahm stinks." Even myself. But you look at the numbers, and he's improving. He's starting to put things back together, and what a beautiful time to do that, approaching the U.S. Open. So I think that he has a strong chance. I wish I got a better number on him, but this is the first time I am saying out loud I am in on Rahm this week, so he better not burn me. But I agree with you guys, everything you said.
Perfect. Yeah. So maybe we convinced you to start liking Rahm again. Good.
That was actually one thing that that I didn't like about Rom. He's always been like a fiery player, but he's
Yeah.
kind of letting a lot of stuff get under his skin recently.
Yeah.
Just it's weird. Like, I mean, I do think this week though he knows that it's going to be a grind. I don't think he's going to get too down on himself. So I do think just having a tougher course and like, a U.S. Open, he knows it's a grind, and if he puts a 2 under up there, he's content with that. But yeah, I don't know. That is a weird thing he's been kind of doing lately, as of late. But I'll ride with him this week. So.
Oh yeah. So everybody's on.
Like every time I turn on the TV, he's like yelling the F word or throwing, and I'm like, bro, like I want to like you. Everyone likes you. You're making it hard. I will say though, that press conference, like I was very impressed. He was very articulate. I think he got his, mean everything he wanted to say out without being like an ass hat too. So like I was okay with it. So I'm in on Rom. I think first round leader was one of my favorite bets for me on my card this week, but I'm all right with Rom this week.
I like that. Teaser, you got another outright for us?
Yeah, I'll kind of just briefly go over a couple more. The second guy, I don't know. I haven't been on him recently, which is kind of weird because everyone that has followed me the past year knows this was my guy from the beginning, and it's Will Zalatoris. I got 30-1, which is, I mean, a guy who hasn't won. That's a pretty decent number. I've seen him obviously lower than that as of late, but he's 19th in the model. He's 9th in bogey avoidance, which is pretty huge. I guess 15th there in his last 50, but he's top 20 either way this year. He shows up in the majors. He has 2 top 10s in the Masters. Runner up in the PGA. So he's going to be there. He's great ball striker. Everyone knows that. It's just a matter of if he can, put it together and win, and hopefully he can make that 3-footer to win it. So that's really the thing with Zalatoris. The thing is with these bent greens, he does love putting on bent. The Northwest is usually mostly bent greens. We don't see too many courses up the Northeast. Sorry. So his putter has really been trending. As much as people kind of want to, shit on him for it, but it's kind of been trending in the right direction. So I'm going to take him. And then I'll just kind of throw out 3 more here just to talk about him. Neiman, I got as well at 40-1.
Yep.
I'll just kind of briefly go over him. He's a grinder. He's won at the Genesis. That's another comp course that I kind of looked at, Riviera. He's 4th strokes gain around the greens. It's kind of key here for the small greens and undulated greens. He's a great driver of the ball, also pretty good in bogey avoidance. Last 4 events, he's top 25 or better, so he's been in contention. That's really what I'm looking for out of major. And then this is kind of a tricky one to me this week because I've been off on this guy the past month, Daniel Berger at 50-1. He's kind of been, an anomaly lately. I think the back's better. You never know with him. It's always about the back with him at this point. The model rank is last 36. He's 9th. He's really trending upwards with the putter. That was kind of the take on him earlier in the year, was he was really having a bad putting year. So yeah, and then I'm gonna go with the Twitter world here with the last one, and Sung JM at 50-1. I think part of the reason why, I'll say it, I can't speak for others, but the 2 reasons why I'm on him is he's 4th in bogey avoidance in his last 36, which is what you have to look for at a U.S. Open, who's really staying away from those, big numbers, bogeys and doubles. And then really 7 strokes gain around the greens, and he's also, a great ball striker, probably top 10 on tour, I believe. So that's kind of why I'm on him. I'm sure others would say the bogey avoidance. I also think 51 is a great number at that mid-tier. So, that kind of rounds out my outright card. Bigger than normal, but you kind of got to go bigger with the major. So,
no, I can't hate on Sanjay. I just don't like the fact that everybody else is on it.
Yeah, I honestly, personally, I don't even think he wins. If I'm being honest, I think he doesn't have a chance. But I like the number and the model. Sometimes I got to go with the model. Like, it's telling me he's kind of popping out. So
yeah, and I'm a little bit of a hypocrite there because I'm on Xander instead of Sanjay. I just have a little bit more of a man crush on Xander than I do have on Sanjay. So I'm going to go with Xander. I usually ride with, on a probably a week-to-week basis, a little bit more than Sanjay. And Sanjay's burned me this year plenty of times. So maybe I just have a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth on him.
Yeah, have fun with the top 10 with Xander. He'll be in contention and blow it for you. Have fun with it.
Yeah. Steph, do you have any other outrights you want to give out, or we'll go right into placements?
Actually, my two other ones, Caesar actually mentioned in Neiman and Berger. So Neiman is on my season-long team. I don't know why, this is very gutsy too, outside of him having a very hot current form. This feels like a Neiman win. This feels like the majors that he wins. I don't know what it is. I think he's also a very nice first-round leader bet. I also have that in him. If you let this guy get an early lead, there's no reason to me why he can't, between his driver and the improvements in his short game. Kind of like Rahm, where like he's cleaned up things, like he's showing the improvement that you want to see in a guy that's approaching a course like this. What I like about Neiman too is that he is that calm, cool, collected guy on the course. So I think when this course does start to get more difficult, starts to piss you off, he can do well here. His past 5 starts, averaging 3.5 strokes on the field off the tee. Like it. He's coming off his 5th best career performance in strokes gained on approach. So, T3 at Memorial, I like Neiman going into this. And I always said he feels like he's going to get another win this year. So if it's not here, I don't want to miss out on his next win. And I know it's coming because he's that guy. He's just hot right now.
No, and same with the way Teaser said that. You guys are going to probably make me add him to my DFS player pool because I don't have him currently. And you guys just kind of talk me into it.
You have to.
It's more of, I don't know what it was about Neiman that just made me not want to include him, because his ownership's fine. It's not too high, it's not too low. It's just right there where you need it to be. So I
feel like he's going to be the guy that's like, okay, you guys worry about the big dogs, and then I'm going to show you why I'm the next big dog. Like he has that for me, and I feel like this is a course where you can really prove that. Like if you want to play with the big dogs, let's see it. He's won. He has everything you really want. So we'll see if he's able to pull it off.
Yeah, I agree completely with what all of you said about him. I love Neiman. I think he's one of the most talented young guys we have out there. It's just a matter of like sometimes it's what Neiman are we getting? There's the Neiman, like you were saying, who's really hot, and then there's like he's talented, but it looks like he kind of just goes along with the motion sometimes. So, and he makes like some really dumb errors, like kind of like Fitzpatrick, like double bogeying last week from the middle of the fairway. Just stuff like little things like that'll kind of catch up with you in a U.S. Open. So I hope we get the good one. I think we will. So we'll see.
I think he needs to come out hot too. Like the big thing for him is like, how does he look at the very start of this? If he can keep that momentum, like he's one wire to wire. Like we've seen him do this, but it comes down to not making mistakes because he starts making mistakes and it's a rabbit hole.
Yeah. And one advantage that a lot of people have pointed out this week is that these early Thursday morning group is probably going to have the best conditions to score early. So
he's in it too, yeah.
Neiman going off at 8 in the morning. You got Berger going off at 7:40. You have Homa going off at 7:29. Rahm, Morikawa, 7:18. If I'm making a first-round leader bet, I'm betting on someone in this group. Plain and simple, I think a lot of people should. You're going to have less wind and the better conditions of the entire tournament. So I like the angle there, especially with that John Rahm first-round leader. That's a good spot there. With Morikawa and James Piot at 7:18. But I'll roll right into my placements. I think the top 20. I'm going to go top 20. I do have a couple top 10s we can kind of circle back to. The top 20 is probably my favorite value play of this entire slate. I was on DraftKings when I looked at that. Tons and tons of value. I didn't see much in the top 40 range that I liked. But the highest guy that I like is Corey Connors at plus 190. Joey Pipe Bets is probably going to be pumped that I'm on this guy. He's on it. He thinks he can win. But just the way he's been playing recently, you can't go wrong with Corey Connors. At 7,900 as well, you got ownership at 15%-ish. So a lot of people are on the same boat here. And if you want to be a little bit different in DFS, you could definitely go from Sungjae to Corey Connors, a nice little pivot right in that same price range. But you've seen 13th at the Memorial, 6th at the Canadian Open, followed by miscut at the PGA Championship. That's kind of what's turning a lot of people off, is that major tournament miscut. I'm going to set that aside. I think he can get top 20. That's why I'm not doing anything with outrights, but I do like his current form enough to warrant a top 20. And then probably the two most popular, I would say, in approach shots this week would be Finau and Fitzpatrick. I thought Finau was going to jump up to that Sung J M ownership. Everybody talking about him. Everybody talking about him. Mm-hmm. But for whatever reason, he stayed kind of in the middle of the pack here, a little bit 3/4 high, but 8,200. You got him right around 15%ish projection wise. I'm on him and Fitzpatrick. Like Teaser was saying earlier, Fitzpatrick is just, I don't think he's going to win. He's not suit. I don't know why. He's just not suitable to win in my eyes. He just is not going to do it, but he's always around and he's always up there. So if you want to do a top 10 or a top 20, go ahead. But those are so I got Finau at plus 140 and I got Fitzpatrick at plus 130. So tons and tons of value there. Another one that I did like was Patrick Cantlay. Just because I know he's not going to win because it's Patrick Cantlay in a major. So you could go top 10 or top 20 there. But those are the where I got some value there on those. So you guys, any other placements you guys want to say on the top 20?
I like the Finau too. And I don't want to like the fee. Like I want to, but I don't want to. And it's like last week, I feel like he really returned to form and finishing runner-up, shooting 62 and a 64 on the weekend. And his game is kind of what you look for again. He has a very tactful short game, can hit his greens, decent putting. I like that plus 330 on top 10 is kind of hot. Like it's hard to look away from something like that. I have yet to bet it, but it's still sitting there. It's looking me in the eye. He's definitely going to be in some DFS lineups. I don't know if I'll put the trigger on betting it, but it's definitely very tempting.
Yeah, Tony's the guy that when he's on, he is one of the best golfers, I would say, and consistent enough to warrant, and you don't want to miss it. You don't want to not be on Tony Finau when he's going well. You've got a 4th at Charles Schwab, 2nd at the Canadian Open. His game is turning around very, very quickly from a little bit of a kind of a shaky start with a couple, 2 missed cuts in a row, and then he also missed the cut at the Players. So he was kind of all over the place, and he's rounded right into form here. Give me all of Tony Finau this week. Teaser, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I'll just throw out, I took Neiman because I already talked about him at plus 160, so I threw him top 20 as well. I also did Zalatoris at plus 140, already talked about him, so just doubling up on them. They should be, Zalatoris has been kind of a top 20 lock in major, so I'll ride at the plus 140. You talked about this guy, Fitzpatrick, at plus 130. I think obviously top 20 is a safe play with him. I don't understand people taking him at 22-1 to win. It just baffles me that you would want to take that line on Matt Fitzpatrick. And it's like always the thing I see on Twitter where like, oh, this guy's bound to win. Like that's not necessarily true. Like we've seen great players who like struggle to win, like just like Finau, like, he's always there, but he has 2 wins. So It doesn't necessarily he's going to win. It's just with Fitzpatrick, like, for example, he gets to 10 under at the Canadian Open. He goes double birdie, bogey, bogey, bogey on Friday. So that kind of like just blows the steam out. You just can't do that when you're leading a tournament. So the top 20 is good. He's always a major player. Top 20, we kind of talked. I know Steph talked about him. Home at plus 160, another grinder. Checks off all the comp courses. Muirfield, he came in 3rd last week. TPC Potomac, he won this year. And then I'm rounding out the card with some two studs that I know me and Dot like. I have Cam Young, that's my guy, and he has Davis Riley. So I got Davis Riley at plus 250. You can't ignore him.
You didn't tell me you were on Davis Riley, damn it.
I forgot. I was actually going to tell you that.
It surprised me on the stream. Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you on him. So we got Cam Young. There's not really much to say about him. He's been like a top 20 machine this year, and I don't understand why I got him at plus 180. I don't understand why he's not like plus 130. He's 16th in bogey avoidance this year. He's really just an all around solid guy. There's nothing to look at. He just plays like he's just good. And Davis Riley, Dot kind of got me on him. I wasn't too high on him, but this man's swing is so buttery that it holds up, man. So he is another course comp kind of guy. He's gonna hit fairways. He's gonna hit greens. He's not that good around the greens, but I think he's just gonna hit the greens, so it won't matter. He's usually always solid. I also have him top 40 at plus 100. I got that on Monday just to beat the line. I think he's minus 120 now, but I still would take that for a top 40. So yeah, those are just two guys I really like in tough conditions, two young guns that kind of have showed out this year, and I think they're going to keep going throughout the whole year. And then just to throw in one more top 40, I didn't really like the top 40s.
Yeah.
Like I said, Davis Riley and then Keegan Bradley, I also got at plus 100. Yeah, so just wanted to throw him in there. I had to give him some love. I'm never a really big Keegan guy, but top 40, I think he, good course comp, good course fit. I think he hits a really good driver of the golf ball. It's always the putter with him, which on bent greens, it really kind of evens out the playing field. So I don't think that's a big issue. Obviously, it's still top 40, so just make the cut and see what happens. So.
And a little
kind of my card right there.
Boston narrative for Keegan Bradley. I think he went to high school around here. Didn't he throw out the first pitch at the Red Sox game?
Oh yeah, and he's from Boston. Yeah, I didn't even want to say that, but yep, good.
There's a lot of narrative. I was reading a big article about him on PGAtour.com as well. So
good vibes, man. That's always key. Good vibes.
Exactly. If Steph, you want to give out any other placements here, we can just roll.
Yeah. I'll give two more names. Anytime I do these shows and we're talking, I like to give the names that, you're not hearing a lot about. Yeah. Keegan Bradley's actually one of them. Another one that I like for DFS this week. Even I think that top 40 is definitely within his realm. I won't beat that to a dead horse. And Seamus Power is another one that he keeps coming up for me, and I can't not. And I almost it depends how frisky you want to get with this. Like a plus 330 on Seamus Power, I can't personally get there, but I think there's a strong argument for it. But I think plus money on a top 40 with him, top 10 at PGA Championship, top 10 on the tour for greens and regulations, solid odds for, this player that's in the top 50. He didn't qualify last year, okay, but his first two majors he's ever appeared in, T27, 9th at the PGA Championship. There's a lot. Maybe he's that guy that likes big events, and that's where he performs. 43rd for scrambling in the rough. 32nd. I mean, you can go on and on. 4th for bogey avoidance. There's a lot to like about him. So he's definitely going to be one of my DFS plays. I like him to top 40 if you can still find that number at plus money. And then another one, and this is a stan. I don't know what my deal is with this guy. I unfortunately love me some Tom Hoge. I will take a top 40 Tom Hoge for plus 210. Give me a break. He could do this. He won at Pebble Beach this year, had a top 10 at the PGA, made the cut at the Masters. He has a very honest, nice 36th in total strokes gained. Tell me why Tom Hoge can't finish top 40. I love it. I'm in on Tom Hoge. I'm not going to be the ballsy one to do anything more than top 40, but plus 210, why not? Throw him in there.
I'm always, Dot knows that. I'm high on
this.
Yeah, the comp course I had was Pebble Beach. He's won there this year. I don't hate him. He's always, with me, it's weird. He's been inconsistent, but that 210 has been, that's a nice number. So I like that, yeah.
And he always is this guy that kind of he doesn't play well, then everyone just forgets about him, and then we're like, oh crap, Tom Hoge. He has a forgettable face, he's a forgettable character, but he's good at golf. He's a good golfer who I think, again, you want to talk calm, cool, collected, who has the stats that look kind of nice. They match up well. He's had wins. I think people are forgetting about him, and I think top 40, that might be one of my favorite plays this week. I could see Tom Hoge easily sliding into this top 40.
I just now added him to my player pool just because of so you convinced me with two people, Neiman and Hoagie. So let's go. Love that.
And another, I'll just add on to kind of actually no, he's not really a sleeper, but Victor Perez. He's been kind of killing it on the European tour. I think 2 wins in his last 3 weeks. So yeah, he's another guy, European guy type type vibe. He's good on tough courses, tough conditions. So that's kind of one other guy. I don't know if he's like a big sleeper, but I've seen him a couple times on Twitter. So yeah, he's another guy kind of maybe targeting that top 40 range for some good value.
Perfect. And this is just straight up for DFS people, for the sleeper of the sleepers of the tournament. This guy's $6,100, is absolutely killing it on the European Tour, and now he's playing in his first U.S. Open. Richard Mansell. Just throwing that out there. I'll have him in probably one of my 20 lineups that I make or whatnot. But I can see it. 6,100. He's finished six tournaments, all top 40 out of the European Tour. So I'm just going to go on a recent form there. Hopefully he comes back over here at 6,100. That's just a complete dart throw. Richard Mansell. And then a couple other sleepers, Ryan Fox and Adam Hadwin. I think I've asked 5 or 6 different people if they liked Adam Hadwin, and they were like, oh no, I'm going to go with Corey Connors because that's my Canadian angle or whatnot. I was like, Adam Hadwin is just screaming at me. He's at 2% owned in DFS. At 7,000, I don't think a lot of people are going to be on him when he garnered close to 20% ownership 2 weeks ago. So I'm just confused here why everybody is off of Adam Hadwin. I'm going to go back to him just as a sleeper guy that you throw in your player pool and see how it goes. So Mansell, Fox, and then Hadwin are 3 guys I'm just throwing out there. Those are my dart plays. If you're doing like a stars and scrub lineup, pick Rahm, pick some guys, Neiman, pick Fitzpatrick, and then boom, throw 1 and 2 of those guys in there, and have a little crazy lineup for a little high risk lineup. I'll just throw out 2 or 3 names that we have not got to, that we haven't mentioned, and I want to see just your guys' reaction to them. So number 1 is Justin Thomas. What are we doing there? Yes or no?
Yeah, I was actually going to talk about him in my outrights. I'm going to I didn't want 11-1, so I'm hoping he kind of has a mediocre first round to get a live number on his outright. That's kind of where you have to get Justin Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't really, it worked for the PGA, but I don't know if anyone had the balls to take him 80-1 down 8, or down 7 strokes. So, I think after a round 1 is where you target him. If he goes I would say 1 over, hopefully that's kind of, who knows how the first round's going to play. So I would say if he's 4 to 5 back after round 1, I'm gonna take him. So I would, advise whoever's watching, just wait. It might not work out. It might. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's one of those courses too. I feel like this will definitely be one that I'm live betting. Especially the way how difficult it is. I could see people crumble, still make the cut. It doesn't matter, and then end up winning. Like that might be the situation. So I might lean into those guys I didn't get great numbers on, but I probably would have taken outright if I had thought about it a little bit sooner. But I think this is a very nice course to be going with some live betting here.
Yeah, I agree, and that's kind of my angle here with Rory too, because you've seen Rory in majors storm back from being so far down. Maybe he gets off to a rough start, and you can kind of get a better live number there. So Justin and Rory here, a little bit better number if you guys just live bet it. Hopefully they don't start out blazing hot. And we'll go from there. This guy, I don't know why. I just don't do anything with this guy ever. Scotty Scheffler. I just don't bet him. I faded him in the Masters. Teaser. It was on live television. I said it to the whole world. I don't know why. I just never play Scotty Scheffler. What are we doing here?
I don't know. You can take that one first if you want. I don't even.
I always take. I am. Anyone that does follow me on Twitter knows that we don't fade Scotty Scheffler in this home. A lot of that comes from also again, you will see these themes. My season-long team was on a heater. We've been a little bit dry, so I'm hoping that one of my guys pulls it out this week. I'd like the extra cash. I'm not betting on him. You're not going to get a number that's going to entice me. Will I throw him in a couple lineups? Probably. He might be more of a showdown thing. Maybe I don't think his number, even live betting, will get to a place where you're going to catch me throwing some money on him. So
Right.
for that reason, I'm fading him, not in the sense that like I think Scotty is going to play poorly, but if whatever this Spieth stuff is, like I would be higher on Spieth with this course than I would with Scheffler.
Yeah, I agree. It's like to the point for me, it's not a fade of Scheffler or like a fade of Rory. Obviously, no one's going to fade Rory. It's just to the point where you can't do anything with them except maybe take a top 10 where there's not even that much value on a top 10. I do think Scheffler, as we've seen, he's kind of came back down to earth. I don't think he wins this week. I'm not going to fade him. He's not going to miss the cut. I don't think so. It's just to the point where I can't take him. I was debating I had a 14-1 staring at me, so I was close, but I don't know. I just don't see him winning this week. So
I can see people taking Scheffler for the same reason, on Rom, where you're like, we haven't got this number in a while. With Scheffler.
Yeah. So, I saw some 40-1s on Scheffler from a while ago. I don't future bet, so that's good for them. I mean,
people got some nice value on him. With their futures. But it's like, again, like looking at it, you're not going to open up your sports book and be like, oh, let me take Scott. Like what? For what reason? That's why I went more of like a Homa and a burger. And it's like if I get FanDuel insurance and they can finish top 10, sure, I'm probably going to go that route. It's just not, it's not there for me. But I think, in DFS at least, like I will probably sprinkle some Scheffler in there because I think that he tends to get himself out of scenarios that you're like, how the hell did he just hit the ball out of there? Like what? How did you even do that? It doesn't make sense. So I could see him faring well just because of that. But I also could see it going the other extreme and him just crumbling into an absolute disaster. So a little bit of him, not a lot of Scotty though.
Yeah, did miss the cut at PGA Championship. He did miss the cut there, so there is a chance that he is human. All right, so he can miss it. But I agree. I don't know why. I just never bet him ever or play him in DFS. If I do play him in DFS, I just do it. I go underweight, and if he's at 15% now. I might have 5 and 10%, so a little bit there.
I feel like we all have those guys. Like I don't bet them. Like Will Zalatoris, just don't bet him. It's not that I don't like Will Zalatoris. A lot of courses I do like Will. I just don't. I don't put money on him. I don't know what it is.
And then lastly, a guy that has been, I would say, very popular this week, Shane Lowry. How are we treating him this week?
Oh, jeez.
Teaser, do you want to go?
Oh my God, man, that's just like a Fitzpatrick scenario. I mean, Lowry's won once at what was that, Bridgestone in 2018, the WGC or Firestone. Yeah, so it's the same thing, man. I'm not taking a 25-1 on Shane Lowry. I mean, you could say he's one of the hottest golfers this year, like without a win, I guess, he is probably without a win.
Right.
So I'm off of them. I do like if anyone listening, I would like the top 20 plus 140 I saw on him. So I would definitely suggest that. He just didn't make my card because it was kind of big as it with 6 or 7 I have already. So yeah, I would say take the top 20 or top 10. I wouldn't advise you. Maybe he wins. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he does, but he does, suit major type courses. So I do like him this week. I'm just not on him outright or really anything. I'll target him in, round matchups if I like anything. It's not a fade for me though. So
yeah, I kind of feel that way too. He's one of those guys. He's like what I like to call my echo chamber guys. I think that everyone has swallowed in on this. Like we love Shane Lowry, and it's not that I don't love him. I think he's awesome. Does he also kind of fit that vibe where I could see him crumbling too and under pressure? Once he makes a couple mistakes, it's game over for him. Yeah, I like him in matchups again. If you can get any plus money on him for a top 20, sure, I'm probably in there. But other than that, I can't do it. I've been off of him since everyone decided that he was their favorite golfer. Like, it's like he looks like a Build-A-Bear, and everyone's like loves the Shane Lowry. Like, probably takes shots before he goes on the course. Like, I can't do it, and I love him, but he's not hitting my card at least.
Yeah, I've actually been off of him ever since, like, at RBC Heritage. I was I was right there when I was standing right next to him when he put that ball in the water in the bunker. He literally had that tournament in the hands.
That was it for me, and then I was done. I'm like, I have trust issues, and you have ruined that for me. So I'm out on Shane Lowry.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, so those are all the top guys that we kind of just briefly mentioned. I would probably lean a little bit more with the top 20 play of Lowry there, if anything. He will be in my DFS lineup player pool, but we'll see how much allocation I end up going with. So to wrap up the show, we have any other final closing statements you want to say? Anything maybe you guys want to get off your chest before we get out of here? Teaser?
Can I ask you guys a question to help me work through my own?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Are we we're just ignoring Varner, right? Like we're ignoring him at all costs because I think everyone's ignoring him now, and that's making me want to give him he's literally behind. Like I am a big Varner girl, and it's hard for me not to because he plays so well in the beginning, and then it's like, dude, you're killing me. But he's in. I don't know what to do with him.
Yeah. I would maybe first round leader at the most. Don't see much from him this week. He actually he's 25th in the model, 22nd in bogey avoidance. I don't know. He kind of fits smaller course, help him out. I just don't see much. Maybe a top 20, I would say, if there's value there.
Yeah.
That's it for me. He's not winning this tournament, so that's about it. I'm never been like he's a great guy. Like I don't have a problem with him. I just never get around to him except a first round leader here and there. So I just don't really bet the guy. There's obviously no win equity there. I would say top 20. What is he? Probably 2-1 top 20. I would say maybe.
This is probably gonna be the first week I am fading my beloved Varner, but it's just not. It's too much for me. I could see him missing the cut. Honestly, I wonder if there's.
I can too. Yeah.
See, I never bet Varner.
Me neither.
But this week, you guys should have seen me this morning. I put him in my player pool for a half hour, took him out of my player pool for a half hour, put him back in, put him back out. I don't know what to do with it.
Oh, like I have money on him. I'm definitely not gonna lie, but that was like earlier week me, and then like my senses I came to a little bit, and now I'm not as high, and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna cash out. Nothing there for me to do, so I just don't know.
He played very good golf. I don't have a problem with somebody placing a wager on Varner. I do back teaser here with the first round leader. He's garnering close to 10% ownership for DFS, so he's not going under owned.
Okay.
People do see Varner being around for the weekend. I just don't know if I can get a top 20 or a top 40 on him, but I think I'm going to end up playing him in my player pool and probably even or a little bit higher than the field on him. Probably about 10 to 15% of my lineups have him.
Yeah.
He is a tricky. The tricky player to get because he can definitely pop off and be around, and then you're like, God dang it, why the hell?
He's one of those FOMO players. Like there's FOMO players, and he's one of them. Like Neiman is another. It's like I don't want the FOMO of him doing really well, and then I was the idiot that didn't. But again, it's a difficult course. I don't know, Varner.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I
don't even know.
None of us are sold. So that for me, it makes me want to be out.
Just do whoever's watching. Just do what you want with them. It's really right. Like it's either. I feel like with Varner, people just bet him. Like some people, not everyone, but they just like him, so they bet him. Like there's never like a rhyme. You know what I mean? Like a rhyme or reason to it. They just which sometimes works out. I just can never get on him. It's weird. There's certain courses where he fits the bill, like Colonial. He fit obviously because he got first round leader. So there's a couple. It is a small course though, so I think he can maybe fit here. It's relatively small. It's just a U.S. Open, so I don't know. But my last thought was just fade Victor Hovland at all costs. That's all I have to say, and then I'm done. So.
I hate when you say that. I hate it. I hate it so much.
I mean, if you want to look, you even said yourself you're looking at strokes gain around the green. So that's all I'm going to leave it at. If you want to take him, be my guy.
Make me eat my words, damn it.
I mean, he's got to get better at chipping. Like it's point blank. Like it's horrible. That's why
it's funny. Like he doesn't take it seriously, and that's annoying to me. Like I'm like, dude, you're like a professional golfer. Stop laughing.
Seriously, and he hasn't gotten better this year. He's 127th in the field and around the greens this year. So it's like, I don't know. He makes too many mistakes for me. I don't like watching guys who double bogey and then go 2 birdies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's him. So
He's the guy. And you say, he's going to find some water. That's always true.
oh, you check back on Friday night and see how many times he's been in the water. I guarantee you twice.
Yeah, my final words here. It's the U.S. Open. It is going to be one of the most competitive tournaments that we'll see in recent memory. I'm just my philosophy is going to be embrace the chaos. I think there's going to be a bunch of missed tee shots, a bunch of rough shots, a bunch of balls that are going to fall from the middle of the green down this big hill. There's going to be a bunch of chaos, and I want to see who can embrace it and maybe have some good little live lines from that. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. We appreciate Steph joining us. We hope to maybe have her back for football season when we go full circle there. And as always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. If you guys have not yet, hit that subscribe button on YouTube, and you guys can always join the free Discord in the link tree on Twitter. So,
wait, quick thing. I just got a thing. Cantley could be a possible withdrawal from Joey Pipes. Hasn't practiced in the last 2 days because of personal reasons.
what?
So, fade him.
Wow. He's always has that late breaking news. He's always ready.
I don't know how he gets this news, but yeah, we'll see.
Love it. All right. Well, we will see you guys next week. We wish everybody luck on their bets, on their DFS lineups, and we will see you guys next week.
See ya.